my microphone's not on and I'm talking. At least it didn't take me 15 minutes to discover it like it usually does. I suck. Um, so, hi, welcome. We're going to do something a little different tonight. Um, I don't want to do my modular is, my real actual modular is, well, it's not here. It's elsewhere, for one thing, and it's got chunks missing right now. I did a little bit of working on it, and I've got a couple of things destined for it, and I'm doing some rearranging and stuff, and it's a big job. So I was like, well, why not do a VCV stream? So for those of you that don't know, I'm drinking water. No, VCV Rack is a free program. It's all like real world modules in many cases that are sort of like completely realized for this format, right? So for example, first of all, what is this? I'm going to update all. Okay, I'm going to have to relaunch the program, so that's fine. Poof, and there it is. So you right click and you have all of your modules here. Now, this is a web interface that you have to go through to get this stuff, right? So when you get the program itself, it just comes, I think it just comes with the basic modules, which are like these VCV modules, which are totally fine, by the way. They are A-OK. This would be like the dope for modules of VCV Rack, which is still totally capable and really nice. And yeah, everything is great. So what I've done though is I've done a couple of upgrades. So you go on to VCV Rack, you make an account, you go through the list of modules, and there's a shit ton of them. There's a lot of them. Okay, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of modules. Some of them do cost money. I'll say that right up front. Like, this isn't a completely 100% free, unless you want it to be. Now, everything I have in here is free. I haven't paid for any modules at all. Okay, so let that be a thing. I'm way too cheap. I'd rather pay for real modules than software modules, realizing obviously that the cost difference is substantial. 10-to-1 ratio kind of thing. So, anyways, let's dive in. The first thing that everybody needs is going to be this thing. This is your audio connection right here. So you need that, and if you go ultra basic modules and stuff, and then you have like just the VCV stuff, like, well, maybe you'd need a mixer, right? So keep in mind, I'm going to kind of do this as a little bit of a tutorial in modular. Also, you really have two types of signals, right? You have audio and you have CV. Okay, and we can talk about things like clock and trigger, but honestly, clock and trigger are just pulses of CV. All right. So you have to kind of think in steps and layers and stuff. Like, if you want to make a particular sound, how do you get there is always the big question, right? And so I don't always do that. Sometimes what I like to do with my modular is, well, most of what I like to do with my modular is generative music, okay? And generative music means you are setting up the conditions or the rules for your modules to work in. Case in point, I'm going to run through a really quick patch here. Okay, so here's what you do, right? Now, if I connect a mixer to my audio interface, right? Well, there's nothing going in it right now, so we need some kind of a sound source, okay? So let's just grab basic VCO. And so down here, sine, triangle, saw, square, those are the different outputs. So we bring, let's say, the sawtooth into channel 1. And we realize it's only on one channel. And then you look at this and you're like, well, it's got one output, but it's going to stereo. So how the fuck do we do that? Oh, it's actually really easy. All of the cables in this are stackable. Okay, so right now you just have a mono out, but you're routing it to both channels. Okay, and then here you have the mixer. Okay, so at least it doesn't sound like there's like a fucking mosquito in your ear. Only on one side, just like. So if we don't want that, if we just want a sine wave, we can see how good our frequency response is of our headphones or our speakers. My skull is being massaged. Can I just say, as a general rule, everybody needs a good pair of headphones. Go get yourself a good pair of headphones. So, here's our VCO. Our VCO is doing things, right? But it's just doing that. It's just making a sound. It's not playing notes. It's not musical. There's nothing we can do. So this is what I mean about like thinking in layers. Like, okay, all this thing does, all this VCO does is put out a note, a vibration. That's it. So we have to figure out how are we going to control that. Okay. Now we could do silly things. Let's say here, a random module. This would be fun. What if we gave it random stuff? Oh God, why? It's in like just massive like audio rate kind of thing here. Right? So that's just randomness, and that's not really all that musical either. And so there are ways that we can tame that, let's say. Now that's just one particular source. We could do other sources. We could do here's an LFO. Now if I took the output and I went into the volt per octave input of this, now it's just doing that. So you can hear the shape of the wave. Yeah. VCAs, ADSR envelopes, absolutely. Those are other things that we can do. So these are just different ways to modulate our sound, essentially, is what we're coming to. Okay, so like we could do this. Make it really slow. But then we can get a quantizer. Okay. Now, a quantizer rounds things off to musical notes. Now, it doesn't round off audio. Okay. So, you know, like, and then there's other problems like this. No, this is VCV Rack. Which, unlike most things that SoftTube makes, is free, and that's nice. So, like, we're looking at this, and if you're thinking about it, like, you're listening to it, it's way too low and way too high. Like, the range of this is absolutely massive. So we need to figure out a way to tame that, and we can do that. You basically need something to resist that kind of thing, right? What is this? Attenuator? There we go. An attenuator. Look, it's an attenuator. So if we bring yoink, 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 if we bring this into an attenuator and then into the quantizer, okay? So now it's doing nothing. But if we turn it up just a tiny little bit, wow, I actually made a major scale completely by accident. Is that D? It's a very flat D. That's pretty close. So that's also something that you kind of have to deal with in modular. Remember, these things they're not playing music. They're playing frequencies. It's up to us to hammer these frequencies into a shape, into a pattern, into a ratio that sounds good to our ears. And that's not automatic, okay? That takes a little bit of knowledge. But not that much. Okay, so right now, here, think about what we've got going on. We've got this LFO going up and down. Voltage is going from, you know, -5 to 0 to 5 and back down again. It's just sweeping back and forth. But the range of it is going through our attenuator. So now the range is really, really tiny, right? And then it's going through the quantizer. So if we took that little range and we blew it up, it would be like, it's popping from note to note instead of just sweeping. Right? And then that's affecting the frequency of our VCO. But of course, if you notice, it just keeps going and it won't stop. Why won't it stop? Because we need something to do that, right? We need like an amplifier, i.e. a VCA. VCA stands for voltage controlled amplifier. Hey, Yvonne, what's happening? What's shaking? So we have a VCA. Let's just throw that down there for now. And then let's look at a couple of other little elements to this. Okay, a VCA basically just gives you control over level. Like, that's all it does. Okay, so if I took the output of that and then I went into a VCA and then I went back, it's exactly the same. There's no difference, except now you see I've got some control over it with this knob. I'm like, well, we had control over it with this knob, so like, who cares? And to be honest, that's absolutely true. If you look below the input on the mixer, you have a CV input, right? And so each of these channels has a VCA built in, okay? So we could do something with that. Okay. So we honestly almost don't even need a standalone VCA. All right. Now this gives you more control because you have exponential or linear inputs. And you also have two of them in a single module. So it's no big deal. You know, to throw one in there, I mean, in fact, let me think. In my actual module, yeah, I think I have 2 double modules. but all of my mixer channels have CEV inputs, and a lot of stuff has a built-in VCA. That's a thing to think about, and filters can do the job as well. So let's think about a filter. Let's take this guy out of the equation here. Loud. All right, let's take that out of the equation. And how else can we manage our sound, our volume, let's say? Well, we can take out huge chunks of that volume by changing the frequency of a filter, right? So essentially what we're doing is we're taking, here's everything. And as we sweep the frequency down, we take out high end. And so all that we're left with is like the low components of that sound, okay? Now, if you had a sine wave, for example, you would hit a certain point, and it would be completely gone. Okay, like a sawtooth wave has a lot more high frequency partials and stuff. Okay, well, all right. Again, we're still looking at control though. So, like, how do you control this? It's still just always playing, constantly playing. Well, here's the question: how do we want to control it? That's a big question. Okay, and essentially we have a ton of options. Okay, we have something like this here. These are generating trigger and gate signals. Okay, so if I did, let's say I did a gate, and I went into the frequency control of this, and I turned this up. So now every single time I press on this, right, it's doing its thing. All right, if we put it in the trigger, you notice what's happening here. Even if I hold down the button, all it does is it gives a tiny little pulse, like a millisecond long pulse. But we could take advantage of that, right? So we could have gates and triggers are kind of the same thing. A trigger is just the start. It's just like, here's your thing. A gate is like, I'm on, I'm off. Okay, and if it's held on, it's held on, and it's on. Okay, so they're sort of the same, but they're a little bit different. All right, so what are we doing with this thing? Well, I'm going to turn down the attack time, and I'm going to turn down the release time and the sustain. Let's just look at one thing. Let's look at decay. And turn it up a little bit more. Okay, and again. So it's not doing anything. A lot of times you do need a release in there as well. Okay, so now when I tap the mouse button, it's going through this. Attack, decay, sustain, release. All right. So if I turn up my attack time, let's put it on gate. So now you can hear, as soon as it starts, it fades in really slowly. Right? And it takes a little while to fade out. We can actually increase that too. Okay. So this is kind of the basics of modular. Like, what could substitute for this pulses thing? Well, lots of stuff. Specifically, you'd probably get a sequencer of some sort, right? Does this have? I know this has this sequencer, but to be completely honest, does it have other sequencers? Don't know if it does. I'm not sure it does. Sequential switch? Nope. So we could throw a sequencer in here, right? And then have See, this is a little strange because I wonder if I could do like a split or a merge. Yeah, I could merge. So let's say I wanted to play a rhythm. And this is my rhythm. Bump, 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 dun, 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 dun. Okay. And then I took the output and I went into my gate. I'm not sure it's working. So if I took the actual regular gate symbol, you can see there, as this thing pulses, it's triggering the envelope. So I'm surprised this doesn't work. It looks like it is. It should be. That's weird. It's like it's triggering the decay. But it's not actually triggering anything. It's a little strange. Yeah. So anyways, I want to get on to other things though. All right. These are all of the basic modules that come with this program. Now obviously, like I said, you can get more. So I'm going to take my, if I can find them. What are you hooked to? Okay, why are you hooked there? That's weird. I'm going to take my main outs of this. So this is a mixer and the aux send expander for it. Really nice. Again, free. And then I have this reverb, which is a very dense control thing, but it sounds great. And then I have this delay, the Chrono Blob. So we go into VCV here and we look at the modules that I have. And I've got a good amount, not a massive amount, you know. One cool thing is that there are a bunch of real-world manufacturers that are putting their modules into VCV. Okay, so for example, we've got Erica Synths stuff here. There's a few of them. Instruo, which is like one of my favorite companies, all of their modules are in here. Aside from a couple of weird ones and audio ones, like the R-Bar and the Lubot and all that kind of stuff. Those audio processing modules are not in here. I'm going to grab that. That is a randomizing thing. That's a sample and hold module. Some of these I need to kind of get rid of because I don't like the look of them, and I find them hard to work with. I'm not sure what these blue ones are patterned after, or if they are. Maybe they're not. And then we've got some Bifaco modules, and we've got a whole bunch of mutable instruments clones by Audible Instruments. Very clever. But they're essentially clones of what we're doing. So, like weird stuff, like a rhythm sequencer here, right? And then we have like clock signals and stuff like that. So once you get into like big modular stuff, like a lot of this stuff I haven't really played with, to be honest. In fact, I just added the Volt modules, and I haven't even messed with them. So maybe we should do that. A drum synthesizer. I like the sound of that. So if we take our left and right and just chain it into the output here. The question is, how do we trigger this? So I'm always looking to like, what are the inputs, what are the outputs, what's going on? Okay, start loop sequence random, and then what, trigger? Where are like the outputs here? No. Where's the output of this thing? I mean, okay. How do you start it? This is a bit of a mystery. Do we need to give it a clock signal? Clock generator. Okay, so it's getting a clock signal. It's working. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my gosh, I figured something out. I am smart. Okay, there's a ton of reverb on that, and that needs to not be the case. I've got reverb and delay on like everything. Okay, so these are CV inputs. It's cool. All right. We can kind of turn this into more of a snare drum kind of a thing. Bit crusher. Okay, so everything, of course, can be controlled. So we could take a really, really slow LFO, for example. Hello, there you get frequency oscillator. Okay. What do I like for LFOs? Oh, I don't know. Let's use that because it looks pretty. Ooh. Ah. Can I get a clock in? Yes. Yes, I can. Okay. Can I get a clock divider? Okay, let's take clock in, plarp, there. And then divide by 4. Oh, I think it's C'd out. Okay. Hey, think twice. What's going on? How about just a divide by 2? See, it looks to me like it's still exactly the same, so I'm not really sure how to use this thing. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's doing anything. I'm quite baffled. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything, which is lame. I don't know. Let's try one of these other ones here. Is there a clock input? Hello? Is that a thing? Or is this only going to generate stuff? It looks like, okay. Metasonics modules? I don't know offhand. I'm a little bit baffled why I can't just find a friggin' clock divider. Here, clock in, clock out 1. And so if I divide that by like half, or let's see, 0.25. It doesn't seem like it's doing the thing that it's supposed to. Maybe the point is, though, that this is not doing the thing it's supposed to. I don't know. let's try it on something here. Let's try it on the tuning. There, and we hit start. It's a little strange. Then, of course, once we're here, we can throw this through some reverb or whatever and do stuff with it. So, anyways, that's that. Just options, things that you can do. Let's see. We could look at some of this stuff, do some interesting things with it. How many quantizers do I have? What I've used so far, which is clearly not a lot, I haven't really had a great time with. What is this? Quantizer, random, polyphonic, probabilistic sequencer. I like the sound of that. Okay, what is this? This is like... Okay. So if we put this at C major pentatonic, again, one of the things I really like is the fact that a lot of these modules from the real world are available. Like this is a Platts oscillator, which I have in my rack. So if we hooked output, it's obnoxiously loud. Let's turn it down for a minute. Jeez. So if we went to random generator here, random sampler, marbles. Okay, that's not doing anything. Should be. A little bit more like it. Yes, I'm very baffled by this thing. I'm very confused. But that's okay, because we do have this still. It's not triggering because it's not triggering. This is randomized kind of stuff. Basically a souped up Turing machine. Mute that guy for now and see what else we can do with this. Let's grab a... What kind of sequencers do I have in here anyways? Yeah. How about that guy? And then this should give us a consistent clock out. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just use the top row here. Okay. Number of steps. Yeah, but isn't every synthesizer like that? Okay, so this is always the question. How the hell do you use any of these modules? Where do you bring stuff into? Where do you trigger it? I can't put that there. I can't put stuff where I normally might. trigger doesn't work. So I would think that this would be like doing something, but it's not. It's not doing anything. I hate it. Is there a... No, quantize. That's not what I thought it was going to be. Shaper type. Harmonics, warble, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I see there. Okay. The question is... No, that's not going to do it. Okay, see, this is all for the VCA. Yeah, see, this is where I get a little bit, you get a little bit bogged down because nothing is labeled, and you know, you kind of need to. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This should just be working. You know, is it looking for a different kind of signal here? I mean, it's not sending a trigger. You can see it. It's not sending a trigger. So, like, what the fuck? Why you no sending a trigger, bro? So it's got multiple reset switches here, but it's not. I don't know. Let's try throwing an envelope in there. So if I put this into here, into gate, is it gonna do anything? See, it's still not receiving any kind of a signal. It's just... I don't understand any of these things. None of these things are actually working. Oh, now they're working. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. And now everything is gone. Nothing. There's no sound. No sound at all. Nothing's happening. Oh, I see. This is trigger 2. Okay, so this should be triggering each time. Should be doing a thing. It should be sending a signal. It's getting a signal. It's all doing the thing. But now all of a sudden there's no sound. That one's still working. Yeah. Oh, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that there's a bug in this. Because it's showing a signal. But nothing. So I'm going to try something here. I'm going to shut this down and restart it. See if that helps. Nope. It's doing exactly the same thing. Well, that's fucking weak sauce. What the fuck? Ha. It's like none of this shit does anything. It's very, very confusing. So just like anything else, like if you buy a module in the real world and you don't know how to use it, you got to go and look at the manual. Like you can't just, oh, let's send back my $400 thing. Like, no, just like look at the manual. And I don't really have time for that right now at this exact moment. So I'm just going to go and do something completely different. Let's put that guy into a filter of some sort. we're going to need a second filter. Unless I have a stereo filter. That would be cool. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, I think... Nope. Just kidding. It just went somewhere. Oh, there it is. Resonant comb filter. Input. Left and right. Yeah, baby. Okay, so if we did a thing like this. This is VCV Rack. And that's incredibly obnoxious. Yeah, exactly. Well, the modular is a little bit under constructed right now. Under construction, I should say. So, and I'm still learning how to use VCV Rack, obviously. It's like, gee, thanks for the labels, guys. It's so annoying. What's this one? Oh, okay. See, this is a left and right. This is a stereo filter. Okay. This is totally free, yes. Everything that I have in here is free. So then what we could do is just, detuned. I don't know, man. I need to get off my ass and start making videos. And I was thinking, like, basics of synthesis. Just going through, like, one component at a time. Yeah, I just need to get off my ass and actually do something. There's your problem, see? I feel like this low one could be like a triangle wave. Or we can actually make them both square waves. Yeah, drums are complicated. You need a sequencer to do it. And then you got to run clocks all over the place. And that is one area in VCV that I'm not great at. I don't know the stuff that much. Honestly, the biggest issue in this is knowing what all of the shit does. Like if you notice, I have an even VCO in my rack. I know what everything does. I have a marbles, I have a plats, I've had a clouds, I've had all of these things. So I know what they do already. If I put in something like this, like what the fuck is this? Granular filter? What is this? I have no idea what this is. We could attempt to find out, I guess. See, like, out. There's no... Oh, wait. That's gotta be like that. Like, what is going on? So these are like harmonics or something. You've got separate pan controls for each one. So I really don't know what this thing does. I'm literally just moving things and, you know, I'm in a groove? Like what? See, it needs a clock. Uh-oh, there's an hourglass sign. I think I'm breaking it. This is really weird. So, yeah. Does this have multiple inputs? Yes, it does. It's a happy thing. Okay. See, like, what's going on now? What is happening? It's like, oh, you've hooked up a thing, and now you have no sound. Like, why? At the very least, I should be hearing normal sound, and I hear nothing. Oh, there's one. Mix left, mix right. Okay, these are CV controls. Okay. But what is it doing? Let's just stick to what we know for now. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, VCV Rack. Give it a shot. It's a fun way. It's super free and it's a fun way to learn basics of modular and you know, make many hours disappear. So, yeah, free stuff is always good. It is a little strange. Like I said, you got to go to the website. And, yeah, I saw that Cherry Audio one. I never redeemed the free code because I'm so sick of getting emails from everybody, you know, offering me stuff. And, like, you have to sign up for everything. And bugs me. It's like, Isotope, I've already given you all of my money. Stop selling me on crappier versions of your programs. Anyways. VCV Rack, yeah. Give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. I will catch y'all on the flip side. So